Hey everybody, it's your boy CM Motivates. Welcome to another week, a second week of our podcast, More Than Just a Game. And, it's been a great journey so far. We've had some amazing people come on our podcast. And for those that are watching, our podcasts are based around, hearing from people that are that have made it to that professional level, and hearing from their stories and, how they were able to achieve their goals, but also how they were able to get through their challenges that they faced in their journey. And so we're really blessed to, have all these ex-professional players, current professional players, give up their time to share with us every Wednesday night. And tonight we have an amazing guest of us. He hails from the friendly islands of Tonga, and they call him the Lion, and you'll see why, because he is strong. But more than that, he's got a amazing, story. His career, extends into, 3 World Cups. He's played, in France. And not only that, he's now coaching and giving back to our Polynesian community over in Europe. And so tonight I encourage you again, make sure you have your pens and paper ready, because tonight's going to be awesome. And there are going to be a lot of takeaways that you can take that will not only help you on the field if you're an athlete, but also off the field. And even if you are a parent watching, this is going to be good for you. Or even if you're a coach, you're going to be blessed tonight as you sit back and listen to our guest, which I want to introduce very, very soon. So sit back, relax, have your pens and paper ready, and let's go. Good evening, everybody. It's your boy CA Motivates, and tonight we're back for round 2, week 2 of our second phase of our More Than Just a Game podcast. And tonight it's not just any podcast. Tonight is a special one. Why? Because we're going to speak to a legend. A legend not only in South Auckland and in Auckland, but also in Europe, all over Europe. We are so honoured and privileged tonight to have him with us. He's got a name. Okay, but he's got another name that they call him by, the Lion. And so tonight, viewers, for those of you who are watching, I want to introduce you to Ephraim Taukafa, the Lion. Welcome, Toko Whewheake.
Yes, hi, Chris. Good to see you, Toko.
Man, good to see you too, brother. Man, I know that hasn't been easy times in France. 2 months of lockdown. How's it been for you and your family, bro?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good, here in Europe, we've been locked up for almost 3 months, Chris, and bit of a anticlimax to the footy season, where we couldn't finish off the season. But it's been okay now, and here in France, it's slowly opening up, and all the streets are. We can travel now, and the bars and restaurants and stuff are open. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, it's always, man, it's good to have you. I mean, every time I talk to you, or via Facebook or online, it's always empowering, always, you don't want to leave. And, just because of the wisdom and the knowledge and that you share, it's always something to take away. And so I want to thank, your wife and the kids, and yourself, man, just for giving up your time. I know you got a tight schedule over here with everything that you're overseeing, which we're going to go into later on. But I want to thank you, Toko, for making this time. I think it was, 2016? We connected back in 2015, 16. You flew over here. We caught up with Marcel and the team. And look at the journey. It was 2016. It was also, that's been 4 years, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's... I've been hearing a lot of things about how you guys are doing some awesome stuff over there in Melbourne, and through my sister. And, I just wanted to come and be a bit of a nosy and see what you guys do. And that's, I thought I'll fly over and check you guys out. And, man, I was so impressed that day. What I saw, what you and Shell and your gang were doing over there with the Academy. But it's something that we wish we had, Chris, back in the day,
Yeah.
And it's really uplifting to see that there's academies like that for young kids. Yeah.
Man, I remember that day. It was so thick, and massive shout out to Lovey too. For she's been a big part of our journey, just catching up with your sister, and she's like a sister to us too. And that's so it's been awesome. But that day was awesome because then that led to us coming to France, Marcel and I, and also Sam, and then spent a bit of time with you, which was cool, and the little car.
Oh man, I think we've done all of France in like 2 days.
In 2 days, man. Half of France in 2 days, my shit. Oh man, man, that was an awesome time, and then again, I guess the biggest one was being able to come to Pacifica Unite last year and catching up with you and the gang over there, and amazing work that you guys are doing for PRBW, and we're going to touch a bit on that later on. But just to warm us up, for those of the viewers, the viewers that we have watching IFA, just to kind of give you a bit of background on the audience, is we've got a lot of young athletes watching tonight, but also parents and other coaches and all of that. And then so yes, have a bit of fun as well. And so we always start off with a bit of a warm-up question. And the first one here is if you had a choice to be an animal, okay, all right, you got the choice between because I already know that you're the lion. There's no other lion like you. All right, so we'll take the lion out of the picture because there's only one lion. Yeah. There's only one lion.
No lion.
Right? And so if you had a chance to be a gorilla or a kangaroo or a horse, which animal would you be and why?
I think I'll be a gorilla.
Hey, the man, Silverback, the leader.
Yeah, Silverback. Yeah, I'll be a gorilla because gorilla is territorial.
Nice.
And protects the zone.
Nice.
And real leaders protect those that are vulnerable and those that need help.
I love it. Man, I love that. And you know what? And that's a testament of who you are, Doc, because you don't just say that, but we see that. We see your heart for people and stuff. So, awesome choice, Doc. Second one, a lot of you've been in the rugby scenes for a long time. You go to different functions, prize giving, awards nights, dinner nights, and all of this. We are known as people that can move and groove. Some of these kids these days, some of them are too shy and they go stand and do that. The dance move where you can stand by the wall and you put one leg on the wall and just look around. Because I've seen some clips of you, Toko. I think it was last year's Pacifica Unite, and you're a bit of a mover and a groover yourself. So if you had any tips for these young athletes, even the parents, some of the parents just do the old 2 steps. But if you had any advice on some moves, what's your go-to move? Is it the one where you hold the thumbs up and you close the eyes and go like this? What's your go-to move, Toko?
Oh man, it's just a simple one, eh? I'll go to the running, man, because you do the run before you get a hiding.
I like that. See, athletes feel, see that? I want you to write that down. At least if you're doing the running, man. And then you can run straight out as well, the door.
You can run here. You can warm up to run out the door before you get a flip around the ears.
Nice, Toko. And the last one, Toko, is last question is what is, so if you were to, one day these athletes are going to be wives or they're going to be husbands. Eh? So, we want to make sure, that, we find the way to the heart of our husband or our wife and we can often find that through like food. So when you're trying to, or not trying, but when you're, doing something nice for your wife, what's your go-to signature, because you're in France, France is the land of food and wine. Okay, what's your signature moves in cooking?
Oh man, you gotta feel out on them, with the girls and make sure they're comfortable. Be polite and stuff and make a nice, if it's island girl, do a big umu for
Umu.
Nah, just just wine and dine the girls how they should be, the ladies, because they're queens at the end of the day, they're
Nice.
in the island way. Our ladies are queens, and we need to respect them and love them. Yeah,
I love that. That's awesome, Toko. Awesome. Hey, so the boys, watching, make sure, hey, when mum and dad gives you the okay to have a girlfriend, and then you become a husband, and then make sure you take those notes that, Ifa, aka the lion, aka Suave, that's just shared with us. And if any of our female athletes, for a man, it's just a nice meal, eh, Toko?
yeah, nice meal. Over here you have nice wine, so you take them to a nice, beautiful restaurant and wine and dine them and give them a beautiful flowers.
Awesome. Toko, thank you, Toko, for sharing on our free warm-up questions. And so we're going to get into a bit of, not say serious questions, but more, around what we're here to do tonight. Our podcast is more than just a game. And the focus is momentum. We know that COVID's happened and a lot of things have changed. A lot of young athletes, seasons in limbo, not sure what's happening. It definitely changes the dynamics of the family, as in what they used to every Saturday, taking their kids to sport. Now they've got all their kids at home. And so we're going to focus a little bit on that. But before that, we want to look at, man, you've got an amazing career, Toko. Looking here, you played in Auckland, you played for North Harbour. Toko, you played North Harbour, right?
Yeah, played North Harbour.
And then in Europe for Leicester, is it Onia?
Oyonnax.
Yeah. Lyon, Stade man, correct me, bro, these French, Stade Montois. RC Chalon.
Chalon, yeah.
Chalon.
Rugby Club Chalon, Dijon, and then now coaching at CS Beaune.
Wow, yeah. That's what a career. And on top of that, you played in was it 2 or 3 World Cups? Was it 3 World Cups?
Yes. Yeah, played 3 World Cups.
Wow.
2003, 2007, and 2011, Docs.
Man, wow, what a career, Toko. That lineup there is something that a lot of young people just dream of, man. But that dream for you turned into a reality, and I wanted to kind of start off with that. Just looking at your background, Ifa. Growing up in South Auckland. South Auckland was looked down upon. A lot of the kids that grow up in these days, they grow up in the housing, especially in Australia, in Melbourne, and even in France, like they're beautiful houses. You can rent these nice houses and all of that. But I remember back in those days, Toko, and I remember in Greyland and even South Auckland, the houses we had, it was holes on the floor. You see some little mice running around, and there, and so give us a bit of background, Toko, in the way you grew up and who you hanging out with. What made you want the rugby dream?
Yeah. So I grew up. I was born and raised in Mangere, in South Auckland, and I grew up in a little area in Mangere called Favona, and in Favona we had a few islanders there, and this is like in the 70s and 80s, and one of the guys there was our neighbors was Jonah Lomu.
Wow.
Jonah and John and them were my neighbors, and guys like Istolo Maka, Sino Maka, have David Tua just down the road at Hall Ave. So I had all these people around me growing up, and I was just lucky because in those days South Auckland was kind of rough and but we had people that we could look up to growing up, and Jonah was one of them. But we knew from a young age that he was just something special, you know. We went to Favona Primary,
Wow.
and we played rugby for only 1 year. And then Jonah just kept on getting tries left, right, and center. So they banned our school from rugby.
What?
Yeah, so they banned our school, Favona, from the Auckland rugby comp because of the two guys that were just like freaks of nature. I don't know, you ever heard of him, but there's a guy called Fuara Rokini.
Yeah,
He was,
yeah.
there's Fuara, and then we had Jonah. And these two guys were just like, oh man, freaks of nature, you know, and we knew there was something just out of this world because you give them a rugby ball and they just demolish everything. So yeah, first year we went to the comp, we won it, and then they banned our school because they banned our school from the rugby comp because no one could stop us, and then we just had to play soccer back in those days. So what we used to do is they banned rugby, so we were only allowed to play football and play soccer, but you know, we were big kids back then, you know, and the teacher looks at us, and when they turn around, we pick up the ball and play rumble. And then the teacher turns around and sees us, and he or she catches us, and we all have to sit in a line on the brick wall in the sun, you know. And all the islanders would be the ones sitting in the line and stuff like that. So, yeah, but that's what kind of, it was kind of rough back in the days, but you know, you make do with what you got, and we're lucky to have good guys that were, you know, they ended up being legends, you know, legends of the game. Jonah, and then we had David Tour, you know, he pops around every now and then, and when we go to the shops to buy milk and bread, David will be there giving us sparring lessons behind the shop.
What?
You know, that's how humble David Tour was. So he would grab us, when we come to the shop, he'll grab us, take us around the back and give us little tips on how to protect ourselves. But this was like in his prime, you know, this is like in the 90s and stuff like that. And we were still young kids back then. And yeah, we grew up in that kind of environment. And then Jonah became a sensation in rugby. And then I'll never forget what, sorry.
Shotoko.
But Jonah would always say, even though we were poor, don't let anyone put out your fire. Stay cool in your head, get the fire in your belly. Don't let anyone put you down. And you can be whatever you want, even though you grow up here. We didn't go to private schools, you know, and that, but we had people around us to encourage us. But this is one thing that I stood by, you know. I was loyal to South Auckland. I never went to any private school. Even playing my rugby, I didn't go to the big clubs. like the Ponsonby's, the Marist, all those big clubs that pay some of their players. I stayed loyal to Mangry, and I played for Manukau Rovers.
Wow.
And I had mates there that would push me along, but I wasn't a good player. They were way better players than me. There's guys like Monty Beetham, you know,
Wow.
Trona. I had these guys around me, you know. These guys were talented, way, way talented. But they pushed me along. They never let us, never left us behind. And that's what I lived on. I lived on encouraging young people in Europe. You can make anything of your life if you have the willpower, the mindset, and love in your heart. And yeah, all the stuff that I've done, I give it all to the boys, you know. They carried me on their shoulders when I was down. Didn't have much. And then I went on to having a okay rugby career, eh? And now I'm here in France. My 3 kids were born here, living a good life, you know. But looking back from where I came from, I always let the kids know they've got it good now. They've got it good now, you know. You've got academies like Iron Armour and that really help kids, and that's why I really back what you guys are doing, Chris, because I wish I had that back in the hood. But we're just lucky to, just be spotted by some agents and stuff like that and taken abroad. And been here for a long time and been mentoring a lot of young people and older boys. And you can make whatever you want out of your life.
Wow.
You know, if you don't let anyone put out your fire. But that's my advice to the young kids, you know. But it's good now because they've got, you know, got academies and associations that can help our people worldwide, whether you're in New Zealand, Australia, in Europe now, you got PRPW. I back these organizations with all my heart because looking back from what I had to now, man, and I encourage a lot of the kids here that they got it good because, you know, over here they really look after you. They really look after you if you really put your heart into your work and stuff like that. But you have some cases where, you know, some brothers not pulling their weight.
Yeah.
That's where I come in. I give that brother a call and say, hey, well, need any help with anything like that? But we've got a good network. We've got a good network nowadays, whether you're in England or in Europe, especially with PRPW, with what Dan Leo and the boys do, and me, Henry, and Sunia Koto and the older boys here.
The boys.
All the boys. We look after all the younger ones coming through. When we came here, there wasn't many islanders. Wasn't many. Wasn't many. Talking about 2005. 2005, where looking now, you got like over 300, 400 boys playing footy over here.
Wow.
And a lot of the older boys paved the mark for our brothers to walk through that door. And I think they've got they got a duty to keep that door open for the younger brothers to come through. And I encourage all my brothers, like back in Australia, New Zealand, wherever, you can do it. You can do it. Don't let anyone put out your fire. Just keep on working hard. Working hard. It'll come to fruition. Just don't give up. Because once they come over here, then we can look after them, and show them the way throughout getting into the system, how the system works here, and hopefully it's a smooth ride for them. But we're loving some of the work that the boys are doing in the top 14 Pro de Deux, Here in France and in England, you got a lot of divisions and stuff, and got boys in top 14 and the Pro de Deux, which are the pro divisions. Then there's Federal 1, Federal 2. There's a whole lot of other brothers and their families in the lower divisions as well,
Nice.
And they're living a good life over here. And I think I just see it like where our parents moved from, I don't know, from the islands, whether you're from Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, to New Zealand, to search for a better life,
Yeah.
And I see it like we came over here to make a better life for our people through what we love doing, and that's playing footy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that you touched on that, because a lot of the viewers that are watching, a lot of them, they're aspiring to be NRL players and to be Super Rugby players and Wallabies or All Blacks. But I love that you touched on like the why, and what got you to where you are. And this week for Ainama, the theme is like who's in your team, like because we do morning motivations, and this week's one's like who's in your team. And I loved how you shared about growing up for you. Regardless of your environment and where you grew up, you had some good people in your team, and you had people that you could look up to that were pulling you forward. And I'm sure there were some people trying to pull you down, like we do, and in everything that we do, as you try to step out to achieve a goal, you're also going to get the people that'll be like, hey, what are you doing? What are you trying to be pots for? Why you want to be like that guy? But having that strong team around you to pull you through. And then I can see that those seeds now with you and what you're doing over in France, because 2005, and I remember you sharing some stories of your early years over there. It's not easy, and those kids, to all the athletes watching tonight, nothing in life is easy. You gotta go out there and you gotta go and get it. And it's gonna be challenging. But you got to have a big why, and you got to have a good team around you. And if I said, don't let anybody put out your fire, and all of that. But if I what has been your biggest challenge in your career that you had to overcome? Like, what was that one challenge?
Just the culture shock, Chris.
Yeah.
Culture shock. I came over here and I just came out of nowhere to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, which was Leicester at the time. And I had come over to play in a charity match. And there was a Barbarian team that was announced, and I was named in it. And we went to play in Newcastle against Johnny Wilkinson's Newcastle team, and my mate Ephraim Taukafa was playing in their team, and my captain for the team was Martin Johnson.
Oh, the legend!
Yeah, the English captain that won the World Cup England in 2003. In 2003, yeah. And Jono was in the team, and I had all, man, this is a kid from South Auckland. No one knows who he is. I had guys like Zinzan Brook in the team, Frank Bunce, Freddie Tuilagi, Dottie Weird, these legends that I watched when I was back in Mangry, on television playing, you had Jason Robinson in the team, and there's this young kid in the team. I don't know why I was picked in the team. Anyway, I played the game, and I got man of the match. And after the game, we were in the changing sheds. You know, and I had been brought over from after the 2003 World Cup by Istola Maka, and I was playing in Spain at the time, and Jono goes to me, "Oh, Ifa, where do you play?" I say, "Oh, I'm just playing Macarena," because in Spain at that time wasn't a rugby mad country. And Jono goes, "Oh, would you be interested in playing for Leicester?" You know, I didn't know what to say. I was just trying to be the humble kid and just shrugging him off, you know. And yeah, whatever. But Zinni was sitting next to me, and then Zinni goes, "Oi," and I said, "Oh, what?" He goes, when the man is talking to you, be serious. You know, stop trying to do that humble stuff. If he's asking for your details, give your details. So Zinni was the one who actually put me on that path.
What?
But me and Jonah and them used to watch Zinni and playing for the All Blacks. You know, I remember when we used to play, you know, a State of Origin after school, lying on the grass and looking up the stars and wishing we could play pro footy one day. You know, and then next minute you're with the legends and there then. But God is good too. God, you know, God played a big part in my life, and yeah, pushed me and all the boys in the right direction. From nothing to living the dream, I suppose. Here in Europe, doing what you love and representing our people the best we can, and hopefully open up doors for the next generation to come through. So yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Look, like you know, just, and I don't know that all the viewers watching tonight, they're probably their books are full of notes. You know, I mean, I've taken a lot here. You know, like I was saying, like and that's what I love about Ifa's story. You know, for the viewers, you know, from very humble beginnings. You know, around a good team of people, and I know there probably would have been challenges in between, but the one thing that I pick up from Ifa is having a strong why. You know, having a strong why, and I've spoken to Ifa on a few occasions, and we're over there with Marcel, and I know there's plenty more stories. But that's one thing that always sticks out to me about Ifa is your why that you carry, and especially talking about that culture shock, going from being South Auckland to now being on the big stage. You know, sometimes, because in our culture, we always grow up with that mai, that humble.
yeah.
But sometimes, we gotta kind of like you know, take the opportunity, like stop being like
Absolutely. That's right, Docs. You know, we can be too humble sometimes, and looking back at it now, I kind of get angry sometimes. You know, they're trying to help you, and you're doing those. Oh nah. I wish I could see it, slap myself in the head, you know. And there was a lot of opportunities, but that wannabe humble guy is going, "Oh nah, amen."
Oh man. Sometimes I think it's like I think sometimes, I mean, like when you grow up, you're always worried about what people think, or you think, "Oh, I might be too overconfident." But there's a big difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between like you know, being too overconfident, like, you know, being humble is like saying like let's say, for example, if you came to me and say, "Chris, opportunity for you," and I'd be like, "Oh man, I'm really honored, Ifa, thank you, and you know, I'll send you my details." Like that's humbleness and there's humility in that. But when you got when you got people like, "Oh nah," like, "Oh nah."
But now, when I see all the boys over here, and then the you know, the president of a club is saying, "Oh, we're going to give you this and this and this," and the kid is going like this, "Oh, no. I'm just going, listen, he's trying to give you something."
Yeah.
Let's talk to him, humbleness. It's okay to be humble. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's part of our DNA, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just got to listen a bit more, micro details, and there. yeah, you can still be humble and that and take your blessings at the same time.
Oh, man.
And then, sorry, I went off topic there, but yeah, the culture shock. One of the biggest things was the culture shock. You know, you
Yeah.
get a kid out of South Auckland. I came over here. You get a lot of money playing for one of the biggest teams, and I just went on the drink.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you give Islanders that kind of thing you never seen. That kind of, blessings before, and one of the downfalls was because in England it's cold and raining, and
Yeah.
oh man, the only thing the English do is they go to the bar, you know.
yeah.
They don't even go to their house; they go to the pubs after training and have a drink. And I kind of fell into that, and I drank a lot, and
Yeah.
that's one of my learning curves. Is that I was happy I had Freddie Tuilangi and Henry and all those guys that,
Yeah.
that showed me the way. And we just got to be careful of the bright lights and that sometimes, and maneuver our way around that. And after the phase, it's the next phase. And
Next phase.
yeah,
That's also because like we over here we talk about those bright lights as the hype, and a lot of kids these days, or a lot of people in general, can often get caught in the hype. And like we tell the kids and that, or people, that it's all good to be in the hype, because in the hype you're celebrating success, but don't stay in the hype too long.
Yeah,
you gotta find your way back into the zone, and not forget again your why. And if I look at your career, what an amazing career, Toko. 3 World Cups, you're playing for all these professional teams, 20 something years over in Europe, and now being able to get back to the people. I know that the only reason why you're able to do that, number one, God, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and number two is your why, and the people around you. And that's something that, every viewer that's watching tonight, you need to take that on board. You need to understand what is your why, but also have the right people around you, and to help you in your journey. And that's what I love about your journey, Doko. And I'm so blessed, Doko, because we're not just talking to anybody here tonight. We're talking to the lion, and the proof is in the pudding, in your in the fruits of what you've been able to achieve, Doko. And I just want to say, massive thank you to you for sharing that with us, and if there was anything else that you could share to the parents, Doko, like if you were speaking directly to parents now, they have these young kids, they have these big dreams to one day play at your level and to travel the world. What would your advice be to the parents, Doko, like just to encourage them around, nurturing the kids properly, like growing up? I remember, like, even my dad, like, he was like pushing me really hard, and he had good intentions, for it. And I wish that he was still pushing me hard at 19, 20, because that's when I kind of went downhill. Because I said to my dad, "Oh, Dad, I don't need you anymore. I can do it on my own." But what would your advice be for parents, just to nurture their kids properly, in order to, give them a chance to make it their wild and drive? What would your advice be?
Well, my advice would be to just keep supporting your kids.
Nice.
You're never too old. Like you were saying, Chris, with Dad, and I'm in the same boat as you. I wish I had Mum and Dad to push me along the way. But Mum and Dad was always busy at work, and I was I was on the streets, and Jonah always says it in his documentary that we had a group of boys. Our parents were always working, and we had a mate that got killed. Nella got killed, and we were still at school. All these big things are happening around us. We're only like 15 years old, and yet we've got death happening on our doorstep and stuff like that. But that's where the family comes in and holds you up when you can't stand. I encourage the mum and dads out there to never give up on your kids. keep on supporting them. Even when they, when they make it, they come over here, they still need you behind them.
Yeah.
And every little support you can give them, because you can tell when those kids come over here.
Yeah.
You can see the kids that have had that push behind, and then you'll find some guys that are just like me in my crazy days, and those are the guys that I grab and say, okay, come on, let's do this and this and this.
Yeah.
There's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. But it's in our DNA once again. We're family-orientated people. Just sometimes mum and dad can't be there because of other situations, because of work or whatever. But any kind, just keep on supporting your kid, because it means a lot to them, and it'll help them out in the long run.
And that's awesome,
Yeah.
Man. Thanks for sharing that, and I know that a lot of the parents will take that on board. That, I mean, like I said, it's been such a blessing to have you on here tonight. A lot of these kids have that dream that you had growing up, but tonight you just showing that, hey, you don't have to have the flashy things to make it. You don't have to play for the flashy teams. You don't have to have these all these things that a lot of kids these days get caught up in, like having the cool boots. I remember, we probably wore like warehouse boots with holes in it, and, we wear how everybody, when the skins came out and everybody had skins, I remember wearing my mum's tights, pretend there was some skins. I love that you said, I love that your story encompasses, and it's someone from South Auckland, didn't have much, but you had a big why, a big dream, you had good people around you, and then, you went out and did it. Whereas in some people have a big dream, there's a why there, but they just, keep it in here, and they just become dreamers, but you were able to put legs to your dream, then turn that to reality. Now, our last question, Toko, this is you. This is Ifa the Lion, the coach, speaking to the athletes watching, boys and girls watching, what would be your one, I mean, there's plenty of takeaways, but what would be the one thing, one key thing that you would share with the athletes to say, hey, you can do it, this is what you got to do, you're not going to get it?
For me, the number one thing for me would be mindset. Mindset. Because especially in this kind of world that we have now, you can get some, I don't know if it's a bit too rough, but mentally weak people.
Yeah.
And then they don't make it, they complain they didn't make it. But it comes down to mindset. Doesn't matter where you come from, what color, what creed, or what kind of social status or whatever. If you don't have the mindset, you ain't going to make it. Simple as that.
Too true.
And you need to be able to be mentally strong. If you want to do something, I say it all the time, don't sing it, bring it.
Oh, I like that. I want to write that down. Don't sing it, bring it. Oh, no, man. Sing it, bring it. Yeah, that's awesome, Toko. Don't sing it, bring it. I love that, Toko. Man, you should get that on a t-shirt, Toko. That's big, bro.
In this kind of world, you get. I've seen a lot of the boys. They come here and they sing a song. I was playing for the Auckland Blues, and then me, I only play one game for the club. But it comes down to action and a mindset that allows you to do the undoable and fight through the fire.
Wow.
And don't let anyone put out your fire. You got everything. You got no excuses now.
Yeah.
But no excuses to succeed here because you got all the tools at your disposal. Especially here, you got kids now. These boys here, some of them on 50,000, a month, and money to burn here in France, and all the facilities and this and this and this. There's no excuse. It's no excuse. It's mindset. It's mindset and preparation. prepare to succeed. Don't prepare to do something else. But
Yeah, build-ups.
My team are some words I shouldn't say, but it's because of where I came from, and I'm hard on my team, and they come up with the results because they know it's from the heart.
Yeah.
And everything depends on your mindset, really. If you want to succeed, God's going to make you succeed. Believe me.
Amen. Amen.
And if you talk the talk and you don't walk the walk, oh mate, you're gonna go for a long walk. But like I said before, Chris, to a lot of the boys, don't sing it, bring it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the boys are doing really well, and I'm so proud of them over here. We've got pioneers now going into the coaching roles now, and
wow.
We came here as players,
Yeah.
But now, even our boys are coaching. They're doing some really awesome work in the coaching roles and stuff like that. And I'm a mentor to a lot of them, and help them throughout their journey. And we're just not machines on the footy field, man. We're not just machines. We also we got something up here, We got a strong mindset.
Yeah.
Difficult people, man. But yes,
thank you.
Chris.
Thank you, Ifa. We got to do a round two because I know that there are plenty of. I remember when I came there, I was just so inspired by the stories and just knowing what happens behind the scenes, and especially with your own story. I still remember it like it was just yesterday we were just chatting about it, and now today, tonight, these athletes and families and parents get to hear it. Story of a boy from South Auckland who has gone to the world and now living in Europe. And I want to encourage you, athletes and watching, or even the parents, man. If you have a dream, man, you've learned tonight that it doesn't matter. If you don't have all these other, the cool things and all that, man, just go make it happen. That's going to take hard work. And you got to, like Ifa shared tonight with us, you got to have a strong why. And you got to be around people that are already there or doing it. Don't listen to people that are not there. And they saying, yeah, do it this way, but they haven't even put on a jersey or doing what you want to do. Don't look for people that are there and ask them and learn from them. And, be humble, but also take the opportunity. And I like what you said, Ifa, just to wrap us up, it's like what you said, having a strong mindset. The mindset is key to all of this. And, not singing it or bringing it, because a lot of people, like you said, talk about it, but we know that action is the key. So all the athletes watching tonight, okay, I'm going to be putting these notes, on our iNama page, our lockdown page. But, I hope that you took everything down, because a lot of what Ifa shared tonight is gold. And you're not going to hear it from anybody else. You're not going to see anyone else take their time out to come and share. But today you're hearing it, tonight you're hearing it from the legend himself, Ephraim Taukafa, a.k.a. the Lion, a.k.a. Mr. Suave, a.k.a. the coach. And, Ifa, on behalf of Iron Armour, we want to say thank you on behalf of myself, Marcel, Richard, and Emma. This is, for people that don't know, we don't just catch up now and then. This is like family. Ifa's like family to us. He's a brother, and we have the utmost respect for you, Toko. With everything that you're doing in France and even around the world, and we want to say massive thank you. And you know what, Toko? We want to honor you, Toko. We want to honor you, bro. If I had maybe we should create some Iron Armour, these like Iron Armour badges, like there's medals of honor, and I want to get one done. I'll send it to you. But just if you haven't been told before, Ifa, I want to do it now in front of all the millions and millions of viewers watching, that we honor you for the work that you've done in the red jersey, for Tonga, but also for the work that you have done, coming out of South Auckland and giving hope to a lot of us. with your journey and your story. And, and everything that you've done in Europe, we want to take our hat off to you, even though I'm not wearing the hat. But I want to salute you, Toko, for everything that you have done, Toko. Toko.
Much appreciated, Chris. Thanks a lot, Doc. Awesome catching up, Toko. And
100%.
I hope, if you're listening out there, if you just take one little word out of what me and Chris said today, hopefully it'll help you on your path and on your journey. And I wish you guys all the best in everything you guys do. But I'm all ears if you need any help with anything. I'm here for you to talk to. So yeah, thanks a lot, Toko.
Thank you. We might extend the invitation to every Friday nights. We run our IM program, which is the mentoring program of the athletes, and it's a Zoom call, so you get about 20 of the players on there. It's a private call as well, so I'll talk with you and see if we can schedule you in to speak on that on a Friday night, so that the athletes can even ask you questions. But definitely appreciate it, Toko. We love you heaps, bro. Keep up the good work, and we will keep praying for you and your team and the family. But that's us. It's your boy, CS Motivates, and my man, the man himself, the Lion. And we want to thank everybody for watching tonight, and look forward to next week's another episode of More Than Just a Game with your boy, CS Motivates. Everybody, good night. Have a good day tomorrow, and God bless.
Well, there you have it, man. What a powerful time with Ephraim, a.k.a. the Lion. So blessed to hear his story. I've heard it before, but every time we hear it, it's just inspiring. And I know that you at home tonight would have been inspired as well. So Ifa, massive shout out to you and to the family, and thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to share and encourage not only our athletes but also the parents that are watching. And we want to thank you and pray many blessings over you for the rest of your year. And so there you have it, everybody. Week 2 of our More Than Just a Game podcast, from very, very experienced professional former athlete coach. And we know that there's more coming over the next weeks or so. So make sure you keep tuning in. Make sure you plug in as well. Make sure you plug in and switch on. Don't just watch and don't take any notes. Make sure you watch, take notes. And the key is to apply it, okay? All right, to apply the knowledge that you learn, okay? Because if you don't apply it, then it remains knowledge. But if you do apply it, then it becomes wisdom, all right? So have a good night, everybody. Tune in same time, same place next week. More Than Just a Game. It's your boy, CS Motivates. Let's go.